Oh, it begins in 3, 2, 1.
Can you help us?
Yes, we can. Firstly, there's no such thing as Annabelle, and there never was.
Ghosts don't possess such power. I think what we have here is something extremely manipulative. It's something inhuman.
It was a big mistake acknowledging this, though. And through that, the inhuman spirit tricked you. You gave it permission to infest your lives.
What's an inhuman spirit?
It's something that's never walked the earth in human form. Infestation, oppression, and possession.
Yeah.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. And this is episode 622. I'm Scott Johnson, joined today by Brian. He likes the idea of doing 10 different spin-offs from this movie, Dunaway.
Oh, I like it a lot. Maybe too much. Oh, hi. This week on Film Sack, we get up to the conjuring of some real scary shit. I'm talking something's behind the door. No, really, listen to me. Someone is behind that door that smells like rotted butt meat and anger and is telling me it wants to kill us all. Kind of scary shit. You don't hear that? Well, just head over to very haunted HBO Max and dial up the monitoring mics until all you hear is the pooping of the pants while hiding from this 2013 horror thriller about what happens when you make a move to the country with your 4 kids and a spouse and F around and find out about the property owning witches who confess their love to Satan while hanging from a tree because just know they're about to curse the land that their dirty shoeless feet aren't even touching and causes that whole thing is going to require a phone call to some demonologist and a pope. True story, sort of. Anywho, I thought we could play a quick game of hide and slap. The rules are simple. It's a hide and clap. I'm sorry, hide and clap. The rules are simple. I put on a blindfold, spin around a few times while you go hide, and then when I say clap, you clap from your hidey hole, and I stumble about feeling around in the air until either I fall down the steps and die, or I touch Satan's face and he pukes in my mouth, and we all die. Come on, guys. Where are you going? It'll be fun. I promised. Hey, has anyone seen the dog? Randy, will you stop moving my creepy haunted doll around? That's for the prequel. Randy, has anyone seen Randy?
Yeah, man. That whole room was full of prequels, turns out.
Yeah.
You got a painting of a nun in there.
They showed us the whole deck of cards, didn't they? Here you go.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. I can't wait to hear about that weird telescope you see in the background.
Yeah.
Behind.
Can't wait for that one to come up. Exactly.
The peepening. Yeah.
The peepening.
Peepening, yes.
Can't wait for the peepening. Also, speaking of peepenings, joining us, Randy. He headbutts the closet when he sleepwalks Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian.
Randy.
And thank you for your interest in buying a new home sight unseen. Ooh. You'll be glad to know that your new home is a house. That's it. That's all you're going to know about it. And that's completely normal, right? What you're undertaking in purchasing a house that you live in is nothing like countless scary movies and TV shows and books. This time it's going to be perfect for you. Unlike practically every book you've ever read where people do what you're doing. And I'm going to help you see to it by giving you 3 rules. Number 1, don't buy this house anywhere in New England or anywhere on the Eastern Seaboard or on any island, literally anywhere.
Yep.
Ideally, you shouldn't even be able to see water. Number 2, does your new house have a completely sealed up basement that you'll unseal within the first few minutes of living there? Just leave. You don't need any further information. Just leave. Number 3. See that tree out front with the absolutely terrifying shape to it? You shouldn't even be turning off the U-Haul at this point. You just make a 5-point turn next to that tree and drive back where you came from.
Yeah.
I know. You were looking forward to christening the new place. First of all, ooh. But more importantly, you can get 2 rooms at a Motel 6 and christen one of them all night long. Now you're 6 freaks who don't have a demon watching, just like everyone else.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, that hanging tree should have been a big old red flag.
Yeah, it should
Oh,
have been.
hell yeah. When you went and looked at photos or was first checking it out with your agent, what's with the tree is the first thing you ask. Anyway, now with us finally.
Christen a motel room all night long.
Yeah.
That's gross.
That is gross. With us finally, Brian. He's covered in bruises and can't explain any of them a bit.
Oh boy, wrestled with a bunch of different ones this week. Was going to do the outfield. I just want to use your mom tonight. Was going to do
Great.
conjunction junction, but make it possession, oppression, infestation, junction. What's your function? Decided, I wanted something a little more mellow, a little sweeter, a little calmer, and so I'm apparently going to channel Ben Folds doing Suzanne Vega in this one. My name is Annabelle. They thought I was a creepy doll. I live in your old creepy house and made your daughter climb through the wall. If you smell something late at night, something that smells like your ass lost a fight, it's just a demon born from hell. Just a demon born from hell. Putrid, festering stench from hell. I think it's 'cause I'm angry. You assholes up and stole my land. Maybe it's because I'm crazy. When you come to hell, you'll understand. I only want to possess your mom, and after that, I'll leave you alone. I only want to take her soul, bruise her up and swallow her whole, gobble her down like a pizza roll. You've got 5 daughters, you won't miss one. Bump her head on the wardrobe, it sounds like fun. And just 3 times you'll hear me knock. At 3:07 I'll stop the clock. Try to stop me, you stupid.
Nice.
I didn't see that coming at all at the end.
Totally, yeah.
That was my hide and clap right there.
Oh, that was your hide and clap? Yeah, good idea.
That was freaking great.
Clap.
So when I do these, I always I get the karaoke song, but then that karaoke, the place I get these, they actually also provide guide vocals, and
That's awesome.
And I grab those too, but I keep them in a separate channel so I can just use them to make sure I get as close as I can get notes right. I try to get them. But this one was so bizarre, I had to play a little bit of it for you. So these are the guide vocals that came with Luca, and I'm going to jump kind of to the middle here.
All right.
Hold on.
Wait for it.
Yes, I think I'm okay.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Rocked into the door again.
Ugh.
Oh, my God.
If you ask, that's what I say. That's not your business anyway. I guess I'd like to be alone with nothing broken, nothing thrown. Just don't ask me how I am. Just don't ask me how I am.
Wow.
Anyway,
That's too sexy. You should do that one.
She sounds.
I can't get over how scary it is.
Yeah, well, it is scary.
it's just creepy when you hear it alone, right?
Yeah, that's Sacktober as hell right there.
Don't ask me how I am.
How I am.
If you played that in another room, I would be terrified.
Yeah, that'd be a great trick, actually. But she sounded like some Armenian girl who's trying to find out where her tracksuit husband.
She really does.
Body is.
I mean, I think her name might actually be Luca.
Oh, weird. That was wild. All right. And I'll never think of that song the same again. Thanks for that.
Very breathy.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it, though.
Very little Natasha there. She looking for Moose and Squirrel.
Yeah, what is Moose and Squirrel?
The weird thing is Suzanne Vega is as California as they come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'd think they could maybe find
someone. I mean, I assume the karaoke stuff is just like whoever, right? It's
whoever. Yeah, it's whoever submits it. So I mean, the other ones I get, like I've got I've got isolated out Bobby Boris Pickett from the Monster Mash and isolated out, Rupert Holmes from the Pina Colada song, all that stuff.
Weird. That all sounds creepy across the board. I don't like any.
It kind of does, yeah.
Well,
Actually,
happy Sacktober, everyone. Oh, do you have more?
Yeah.
Do you have another one handy?
I do have another one handy. You want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I haven't even listened to this one on its own. So
let's hear it.
Let's see if this one is as.
Which one's this one?
This one, I believe, is Monster Mash. This is the.
When my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
that guy gets day rates.
He did the Monster Man.
It's like a day rate actor guy. You can just hear it.
Yeah, it really is. Exactly. Like,
wow.
Read these lines. We're going to put you in front of a heavily echoed microphone and
yeah.
And here's your $20.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Stand with my iPhone in this bathroom and say these words. That's amazing. Exactly. Well, we're talking about the film The Conjuring. This is the 2013 movie, not the sequels or the spinoffs or the prequels or any of these other things.
This is The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, the one that started it all, directed by James Wan, and summed up pretty well here by Fake Fletcher. Let's give him a chance to explain.
The Conjuring! Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse. There is some scary shit in here. Rated R for rated rad, dolls and a haunted house and lots of jump scares. Oh, and that dude from Office Space.
Yeah, so...
Oh, nice.
The voice, it started like normal.
The Conjuring!
Like, that's what I expect.
The Conjuring! I'm going to call it the rest of it
for the rest of the show. What's the little bit at the beginning, though?
I don't know. It put it in and I kept it.
It's the, right?
Is it? Let's try it again.
The Conjuring!
No, maybe not.
No, he says it.
I put so there's a thing.
Maybe that's a vocal warm up.
There's a little setting that you can slide around called was it? I forget the name.
Weird shit.
No, it's like stability, I think.
Okay.
And if you put it way down,
very unstable.
Yeah,
like
you put it way down.
I got you.
You can put it in a red zone, which I didn't do, but you can put it way down close to this red zone, and then it poops out weird stuff like for no reason. So it's pretty weird. But anyway,
great.
And I don't know why he got all serious in the back end. It's the same reading, so I don't know what happened there. But
it was really fun though.
Anyway,
I hope you keep doing that.
It is The Conjuring or Conjuring, and this was directed by James Wan, written by Chad Hayes and Carrie W. Hayes. I think they're brothers. I don't know. I didn't look that up. Starring Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, and Ron Livingston, among other people. I don't know why Lily Tyler, is that her name?
Taylor.
I don't know why she doesn't get more or closer to top billing because she's kind of the best actor in here.
Yeah, I mean, and she has to carry a lot of the weight of the show, like of the stuff that goes on.
Of the possessing.
I don't know. I want to know about you guys. I spent so this movie has 4 stars. There's four main characters in this movie, right? And they're 2 couples, and they're like set kind of in opposition to each other in a way. And so, but for some reason, this movie never figured out what to do with Ron Livingston. Like his character,
True story.
me, I just spent the whole movie like, you have the great Ron Livingston here, and he is just standing behind everybody else the entire movie.
I wrote a note about that, so I'm glad you brought that up. Here's my literal note: Ron Livingston just kind of walking around and asking how shit works. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
That's kind of the character's role, though, right? I mean,
I guess
it's a shame that you cast him, but
and Livingston's, his wheelhouse is comedy or dry comedy. I mean, I know he was in Band of Brothers or Saving Private Ryan or one of those.
Band of Brothers, I believe.
I think everybody was in Saving Private Ryan, right?
Yeah. Band of Brothers too. Band of Brothers has everyone and their dog in that movie. It's so.
I need to watch that. It's I made a list. So complete derail here, but Hollywood Reporter came out their list of the 50 best TV shows of the 21st century, and that's one of the highest ones on the list that I've never seen. Really? So that might be my next.
Oh,
binge.
You really should. It's excellent. Yeah. It's very good. Yeah.
Hopefully hopefully Max hasn't pulled it, but Livingston's wheelhouse is comedy, dry comedy, and so it's you kind of, I mean, obviously he's not going to do that in a situation like this, but you also can't even go near. He can't go near that area because you'll think he's being sarcastic or think he's being comedic.
It'd be very easy for him to be sarcastic.
Just imagine if this movie did have him as a little bit of comic relief, though.
Mm.
And I realized we just watched Cabin in the Woods, and it's honestly just a better scary movie. And so like there were all these moments during this one where I'm like,
did you see we just ran right past that, by the way?
Yeah.
Ran right past it. Like it was established.
I really like Cabin in the Woods, but The Conjuring may be one of the best horror films in the last 20 years. So
wow,
okay.
Really? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Team what are we, Randy, when we do this?
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Let the man talk. He might make a case that moves my opinion here.
All right.
Yeah, please do.
Let's hear it.
Oh, I mean, it's like it's a little bit of an homage. It's just this mixing up of everything that we've seen in horror films from the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, and it just does it expertly. And from the cinematography, from the mood, from the pacing, just everything from the breathing elements in between that give you a moment, the jumps, just everything in here is just top notch, taking what has been before and just doing it very adeptly.
Well,
so I mean, it changed. I mean, look at the series it spawned. I mean, there's no question about its impact.
It was very, very popular. Yeah, no doubt. This thing made a bunch of money.
Even
it's
Three
very
Ninjas
popular.
had a sequel.
It has a big no. That's a big difference. It's not like the Three Ninjas came along and then there was a bunch of other Three Ninjas. No, it was
the Three Ninjas universe, right? Is what you're
right.
The argument is that there's a
yeah. So I mean, I feel like this is kind of like the horror movies had kind of gotten kind of like they were fishtailing a little bit. Things were getting a little bit off the rails a little bit, and they just kind of centered everything, and it was like getting back to basics. And
that's maybe my problem with it, because I don't disagree with anything you said, but it's actually kind of my problem with it. And I'll acknowledge, I think I may be on the lower, I'm on the outside on this a little bit for most people. I think most people do like this movie a lot. My biggest problem with it is I've
never seen any of these movies.
My biggest problem is the no rules haunted house shit that I always complain about. It sometimes.
So what rules did it not have? What rules was it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What was the most egregious thing that it?
If you can take a chair and throw it at someone, or knock a big giant piece of furniture on top of somebody, you would be doing that from minute one. You wouldn't be coaxing everybody.
You could just pick up a person and like twist them like you're wringing out a washcloth, and there you go. You're done.
Yeah,
family problem solved. Here.
Yeah, completed.
Hunting complete.
Yeah, and I realize this is a thing. This is a fundamental problem I have with haunted houses. This is a haunted house problem from top to bottom. Not this movie in particular. Not any haunted movie or haunted thing. And there's a reason I like The Haunting of Hill House so much. That series. I think it did the best with this stuff, and the reason I think it did is because it didn't focus on the house as much as it focused on the people who were being haunted and their relationships, their family issues, all of that stuff made that show really, really great. Had it just been about haunting, I would have been annoyed. No, this is all very two-dimensional. I don't really know the daughters hardly at all. Like it barely cracked that egg. The dad and the mom, I mean, they're happy-go-lucky. They got a cool house. Who knows? Maybe her bruises are weird. Like there's not a lot of depth to those people.
I really don't want to pile on, but I really do want to explain how I approach this movie, because I want to be talked into loving it and watching the sequels. So, for starters, this movie starts by introducing a supernatural villain that it then puts in a glass case for the rest of the movie. That is wild to me. I want to like that.
Just tune in the next year for Annabelle.
Sure. But I want the movie to make me like that, to make me like spend the movie going, what's going on with the doll again? And it kind of does in the third act. It kind of goes, oh, we could also have another horror movie going on back at home with the little girl and her grandma. But not really. And so but my main approach to this movie was, okay, it's called The Conjuring. All right. What is a conjuring? A conjuring is a human magic, where a human says or does something that causes something else to come into existence. Oh, there's no conjuring going on here. It's just a name. There's okay, all right. It took me a while to get over that. Like I'm like, okay, that's just a name for a movie. What this movie really is about an amateur exorcist who is going to perform an exorcism. Okay, that's all right. I can deal with that. That's a good story. Like, it's going to be scary, right?
All right.
But then it got me thinking, like, I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking about, gosh, there've been a lot of movies called The Exorcist or The Exorcism, or this could have been called a Connecticut Exorcism or something like that, and it would have been fine. But it would have been really derivative for a title. So I was just like, why did they call it The Conjuring? I spent an hour in the middle of this movie just wondering about the damn name.
They never did. Nobody did an incantation to bring something about.
Yeah.
Nobody
did. Conjured anything.
No. It's a little bit weird.
It's a haunted house movie. And for a haunted house movie to really work, I need a backstory, and that's really hard. There is nothing more difficult in scary movies than giving me a backstory without taking me completely off the track, you know?
Well,
and this movie has some people just kind of assert the backstory, like, oh, I think there was a witch in Salem days. Okay.
In Salem days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that sounds like a lovely Saturday afternoon. We're going to go to Salem days.
Salem days.
Yeah. We'll see you in a while. They got some food there. That'll be great. Real quick,
to sound like I'm down on this movie. I want to like this movie really bad.
That's kind of where I'm at. And I actually think all the actors are pretty good. I think that there's reason to like this movie, and I think it's a good time. It's my second viewing of it. But Merriam-Webster, by the way, defines conjure as the following. Two
Is this a TED Talk?
Wait, we're going back. Yeah.
Two major definitions. So I'll give you the second one first, which is to summon by invocation or incantation, could be devil spirit, whatever. That's the second one. But the first one might be what they're aiming for here, which is to charge or entreat earnestly or solemnly. So, for example, if you were going to have a lawyer represent you in court, you'd say, "I conjure you to weigh my case well."
Oh,
is what you'd say. So maybe that's the idea. It's like, hey, dude, owl guy from the Watchmen and the lady from all the other stuff, come on in here and you clear our house out. We entreat you earnestly with our conjure of you. Maybe that's what
I think the Conjuring is mostly in reference to the witch Bathsheba, who calls forth Satan and curses the land. So I think we're looking at the results of the Conjuring.
So they're investigating. They're investigating this Conjuring you refer to.
Right. This has been around for a long time, and a bunch of events that look like they're not related, but we're slowly narrowing in on the source of the problem.
Sure, I could see that.
Yeah, and it's fine if this horror movie didn't work for you. There's no problem with that. But I really still think, like I said, it's one of my favorites. It went on to make a bunch of other, and maybe because I've seen so many of the other ones, maybe
they've filled in some of the gaps, kind of thing. Like you can't think of this one without thinking the full universe that it's in,
because it all makes sense to me. I'm like,
this is the only one of the series I've seen. I have seen this movie twice now. This is the second viewing of it, but I am looking forward to seeing the other ones if they do, go back and kind of explain all the stuff in Wilson's cabinet of curiosities.
I think that's one of the things that gets me excited too, is we have this cabinet of curiosities. It reminds me of like everything. See, I grew up on stuff like Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then my kids went through the whole Goosebumps things. And this just feels like a grown-up modeling of kind of this, whereas like it's not funny. And it reminds me of like scary stories. It just, all this stuff reminds me of the horror that I grew up on that was kind of aimed at, more younger. And it's a evolution of like fairy tales, and it kind of like, it's kind of grown up. And like I said, it feels like it's just really solid, in my opinion. And
I feel like we kind of trampled past the point. Lily Taylor is the star of a horror movie here.
100%.
Kills it.
Yeah. She's fantastic.
Like, as much as the movie trains you to enjoy close-ups of Vera Farmiga, and she's great. She's fine. But like, there is a horror movie and Lily Taylor is in it. Everything else is going on.
And as an audience member, it's easier to connect with Lily Taylor and to some degree Ron Livingston as they're freaking out watching all this stuff, rather than calling Vera Farmiga. Oh well, no, she pulled my necklace and that sucks. But there was there's definitely something in the basement, as opposed to let's get the F out of this house.
Yeah.
The script literally has Patrick Wilson Wilson say to somebody, I can't have Lorraine do any more of these because in the past there was a bad, like she in the past, every time she's done this kind of thing, it's taken a piece of her, and the last one took a big piece. And I was just sitting there like, you just told me backstory? Why didn't you show me that? Why is this movie? Why does this movie hate me so much?
Are they planning on the sequel already? And just saying, all right,
they did show you. They kept flashing back to the Canadian event where they did take a piece of her. We didn't show what
Latin
it was.
Guy,
that one.
The guy that was bleeding from his eyes.
Yeah. So real quick, I have some info on that. I watched The Nun last week. The Nun is a spinoff, a prequel to this also, and there's a painting of that nasty nun in The Conjuring somewhere in that room.
The nasty nun.
I think maybe The Conjuring 2 shows even more of the nun photo. There's more illusion.
And Conjuring 2, I think, may be better than this one. Maybe.
I don't know about that. I think 2's kind of bad. But anyway, the point is, The Nun is a very paint by numbers kind of horror movie, but I kind of enjoyed it. It was more of a romp and crazy actiony kind of horror movie.
Okay.
But in it, the very tail end of it, there's that scene from this with the guy with the bleeding eyes, and the nun tells you where that all came from, like where that dude started,
right.
why he got the cross showing up in his belly, all that stuff. So they tie. It seems like all these movies, including the Annabelle spinoffs, this and what's the other one, the other little girl one. Anyway, I can't remember all the spinoffs. But all these Conjuring spinoffs, they all have some part of it where Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga show up and do like a little TED talk.
That's
and
the
Scully
hub, right?
And Mulder this shit.
Yeah, they do.
That's the hub. That's the reason. Yeah, you need those.
Yeah, which I kind of like. And by the way, I think their chemistry is great. I have no problem with Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson. I'm a little annoyed that it's based on real people because my guess is everything about those real people is utter bullshit. I can do it in a movie.
Yeah. It's definitely romanticized, I guess, kind of is the word.
It's just holding hands around a table going, if you're in the room, give us a sign. Like that's
right. It's given legitimacy to what they did, how legitimate was it. So that's always the question, right? With that
none,
the
not at all,
kind of stuff.
Zero.
Well, I mean, but it is still the question. I mean, you may not question.
It's the question.
You dismissed it.
Yeah,
but
that's a question. That's a question for dumb people. I'm going to get shit for this.
Oh,
that's a question.
Sure? Go ahead and trample on them. Go ahead. I can't wait for the email.
That's a question for dumb people.
I guess you don't believe in ghosts either, right?
No, I don't. Of course not.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
and then tell people how they're stupid for believing in ghosts. Tell them that
they're dumb for believing in ghosts. I understand being freaked out.
That email again is
look, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you thought you saw something, you're supposed to be afraid because your biological imperative is to survive, and that was a scary moment. But if you start ascribing that it was a spirit and I think it was your dead grandpa trying to tell me, nope.
It was Scott. It was based on a true story. Trope alert.
Right.
Yeah, let's play that. Hold on.
When a movie starts with you sit down to watch fiction. I mean, and it's fiction. This is a scary movie. It's going to be fiction. And it's just like, it starts with that. It's based on a true story. Come on, movie. It used to be a lot better before we could. It used to be a lot better before we like the Blair Witch Project. I mean, there was this, the viral marketing, that thing was outrageous. Because there was no way to really go, oh, that sounds like bullshit. And you look around, it's like, some people are saying bullshit, but some people are saying maybe so. So it's like, I don't know. And it does give you like just a little bit of air of, oh, okay, I better take this a little more serious.
That's the goal, but I don't think you're supposed to. You shouldn't take it. Like if somebody says this is based on true events and they do it in that tone, my brain immediately goes, well, let's go.
I agree. Yeah. I like how they did it because I kind of forgot that was like an aspect of the movie The Conjuring. I kind of forgot that it was supposed to be based on a true story. Of course, very, very loosely. Got a couple of character people that it's based on anyway. But I kind of forgotten about that because it's so underplayed in this. It's just like a little tagline. It's like, oh, based on a true story.
Yeah, and the thing at the end, it's always fun in your movie. It's fun in your movie if you can show the final credits and then have pictures of the real people. That's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
But I know there are people
way creepier.
And I know people when they see that they go, oh, well then does that mean? And I immediately went to see what some autocomplete Google searches were, and of course there's a million that go, is The Conjuring real? Were the people were the ghosts that were there, were they real? Like there are all these things. And so part of me likes it because it's fun narratively. Part of me hates it because people are stupid.
But it's very much campfire fodder, right? That's how this story seems. It's like, oh, let me tell you these stories. And so you kind of like, even when you used to listen to like the story about the Hook Man and you used to sit around and tell scary stories by the campfire, that's what you're supposed to do. You're kind of like going, hey man, I got a story.
Hold on, tell me more about this Hook Man. Is that a real thing you used to get stories?
Oh, you've never heard the Hook Man?
Stuck in the door handle, right?
Yeah, just second door. It's a couple of. It's always the cautionary tales. A couple of people,
the teenage kids making out
what they're not supposed to do. I heard something. The boyfriend gets out. Next thing you know, there's a head on top of the roof of the car making noise, and she escapes. She tells the police, "Oh my god!"
Is this from a movie or is it just a story people would tell?
This is a story people. This is called oral history. This is what we used to do.
This is what we did back in the old days.
Yeah, the olden times.
The old days.
Yeah.
Before I had moving pictures.
Yeah. I'd never heard. I've been to a lot of campouts and stuff. I never heard that one. That's crazy.
You never heard
that is the place that they tell you that story is around a campfire.
Wow.
No wonder you're so cynical. You didn't get to grow up with the crazy.
Oh yeah, I didn't have some adults,
half drunk people telling you scary stories.
We got all
by
that
the
too.
campfire.
I had all that. It was just never specific about a guy with a hook. I feel like the hook thing that just reminds me of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Didn't that guy have a hook?
They've played it up so many times in movies. You've seen it a million times, but it's based on the urban legend or the tale that we used to
should do that one, by the way. I should get that in.
And there may be even a movie.
It is the one
or something.
It's funny because that is the one that got recommended to me at the end of, it was YouTube recommended it after I was looking at the movie clips for The Conjuring this morning.
Okay.
Making last notes.
Oh, Brian Dunaway is correct. There's a movie called The Hook. Oh, it's called The Hook, but it's based on the Hook Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Hook.
No,
that's right. Totally different. But
different
it's just it was originally the story is mid 50s. And it was supposedly, I guess, Dear Abby column and all this other stuff. So anyway, it's old story. We ever heard the man with the golden arm is a story like that too. There's all kinds of things with people having appendages that aren't the right appendages.
Yeah,
it scares people.
It's all horse.
So in Vegas, there's this collection of stuff. This little tour you can go on called Zach Bagan's haunted tour or something like that, and then you go through this whole museum, and he's got like a bunch of letters and clown outfits from John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy stuff, and the Dr. Kevorkian's van is in there, and it really is
his van is like a weird thing.
His van he apparently he did a few of the things in the van. But they've also got the quote unquote Annabelle doll, and it's like behind glass, kind of like Patrick Wilson has it in his thing. And if I remember correctly, and I hope I'm not confusing with, because there were like 3 or 4 creepy dolls in this place, like, oh, they're all haunted with different spirits, and then you just put them in the same glass case and let them duke it out. It'd be kind of fun. But you had to say her name when you walked in the room to look at her in the case, and then you had to say bye, or else she would follow you if you weren't polite to the doll.
We need to watch that too. That was
right. Is that the plot of It Follows? I thought that was just like once you watch this.
It's a really old idea that when you say a name, it gives it power. So I mean, it's just an old story.
Yeah, it's an old. It's like really saying Beetlejuice 3 times or 5 times.
That's why I personally misname Annabelle.
Right.
I walk into that.
She's really pissed at you now.
I guarantee you there's more than one.
Annabelle?
I guarantee you there's more than one Annabelle doll on display in various parts of this country.
I'm sure there are, yes.
What is it about this country? We could have a whole discussion about how the United States of America has somehow generated this entire genre of like thinking.
Yeah.
But I just want to walk into that little part of the museum with some complete strangers standing there looking at Annabelle. And walk in and say, hello, Ariel.
Hi, Ariel. Ariel, the scary doll.
It's just a thing me and Annabelle have.
Yeah.
She thinks it's hilarious.
It's great. Real quick, I didn't know this. I did a little deep dive on the Annabelle thing, even though she barely makes an appearance in this movie, but I knew about the spinoffs. The Conjuring Universe doll is way different than the one it's inspired by. The one it's inspired by is a straight up Raggedy Ann.
It's a Raggedy Ann doll, yeah.
Yeah. So is that the one that's on the tour?
That's the one that's on the tour, and Zach Bagans got apparently he did some video where he was showing the doll and he opened the case and touched the doll, and apparently Twitter went crazy about him actually touching the doll. Like, you're not supposed to do that. It's gonna
don't you know transference? Oh my jeebus.
Yeah.
It's one of the 3 things that Patrick Wilson writes on the whiteboard.
Let me tell you what I would do. If I saw that doll and I had access to it, I would pick it up. Right. I would rub it all over myself. I would film it. I would film it.
I can't wait for you to get haunted. It would be my favorite thing ever.
Because it won't happen.
And now my pee-pee's purple. I told you not to rub it.
Yeah.
On
Speaking
your
of
junk.
purple peepees.
Purple pee-pee. Yeah.
Did anybody else kind of double take when the first thing the couple does when they move into their new house is like, we need everybody to go to bed so we can go have sex in this dirty.
Don't you have enough kids?
It's so dusty in there.
They want a boy finally, right? That's the deal. They're just trying to get a boy.
Yeah.
5 girls.
I appreciate the fact that Ron Livingston his character ever once pointed out the fact that he was the only dude there.
Yeah.
With all the, it's like, oh, the women are all hysterical.
Yeah.
Most movies would. Most movies would have some kind of commentary on being a man surrounded by women.
Yeah, especially one set in the 70s like this. By the way, I think the movie does itself a massive favor by being set in the 70s. Absolutely. I think that the 70s is a perfect backdrop for serial killers, slasher people, weirdos under the bed, whatever.
Supernatural bullshit. Absolutely. It adds, just doing that adds an extra level of creepiness to the film. And I think that's, doesn't one of the Flanagan things, or a couple of the Flanagan things are set in the 70s, aren't they? Right. Like Midnight.
And at the very least, they try to get away from technology. Like he likes his stories to be, out in nature.
And a lot of the childhood parts of what they tell in the Haunting of Hill House are in the late 70s, early 80s. So you have kind of all your throwback scenes when the kids are little, and then you jump forward to a current time when they're older. But man, that guy, he turned me around because I really dislike haunted houses. I think they're dumb and again, without having any rules. When people ask me, Scott, what do you mean about rules? Let me explain real quick. Zombies have rules, and sometimes you can change those, but you tell us when you change them in your movie or whatever, these zombies can pick up weapons. These ones can make grunt sounds that are sort of communicating. But for the most part, you have a set of rules for zombies. You have a set of rules for vampires. Can't be out in the sun unless you want to get sparkly and stupid like Twilight. But again, at least they make changes to their own rules, and it's clear to you they're changing them. But they look in a mirror and they see nothing. They don't like crosses and holy water. You have these rules. Mm-hmm. Haunted houses, nobody has any effing rules. And maybe those are the rules. I understand the argument there, but
I still don't think this is not a haunted house movie. There's ghost in it.
Okay,
it's haunted. It's haunted.
But she can't leave.
No, it's haunted land. Yes, and it's a house on that land.
And Lily Taylor can't leave the house without turning all full purple
until she lets the being in to a certain point, right?
Well, I guess so.
That's kind of the whole conceit here that I'm giving it. It's like, we've established that this being can only have power once it starts getting under the people's skin. Otherwise, it's pretty much powerless.
Well, look at Evil Dead. If you look at Evil Dead, there was never a time on Evil Dead where I went, "Oh, it's this cabin that's." Are
haunted. You comparing this to Evil Dead?
Yes, I am. The cabin in Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and all that is not the haunted entity. That house just has a whole bunch of shit go down in it, but it's not the house itself.
There's a portal nearby, and there's the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, and all that. Yeah, and that's literally a Conjuring. They should call that movie The Conjuring. Right. And so that I can deal with. When you start bringing demons from somewhere because you read a thing in a book, all bets are off. The rules are fine. Do whatever you got to do. And this one, it's like, no, these doors are moving on their own. There's furniture flying. It's a haunted house movie.
Yeah. And Scott, weren't you a little bit tripped up? Because I was. When Patrick Wilson just suddenly says to Ron Livingston, well, it doesn't matter if you leave. They'll just follow you now. Because that felt like they were undoing a pretty major rule of a haunted house, right? Like,
yeah. That's the one rule they have, which is it's in the house.
Is limited to the house.
But it's not. That's what he's saying. They may be powerless in the beginning, but as they move their possession on, as they go through the 3 steps, eventually they can become mobile.
So why didn't any of the other people who lived in that area lived in those houses?
Dead.
Those people all got killed by whatever they conjured.
Right.
I just I like that moment really tripped me up. Because I was really like, oh, okay, so we didn't need this house to be such a classic haunted house with 4 sides and rooms that enter into other rooms and a basement that was boarded up, and then they broke into the basement. It was so tropey as haunted houses go, right? That I kind of wanted them to continue to like steer into the skid, and instead it's like the movie doesn't even know that it's a haunted house movie.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, it does, and it breaks some of those traditions or tropes or whatever, and plays with them in ways we're maybe not used to. Like, I think there's really good skill and stuff going on here. I think James Wan's a great director. You say whatever you want about the Saw series. That first Saw movie was, a bit of a horror revelation. And he had a real moment with that thing. And
torture porn was really, it's like, oh, brand new. We got some torture
invented
porn.
a new genre.
Yeah,
or
he
at least,
did. And he may
amplified a new genre.
Refined it.
And he may have done it the best for, I can't stand like Hostel. There's a few others that are real bad. But James Wan's a good director. And then he goes on to do some really big mainstream things. He keeps coming back to horror here and there. I have nothing but respect for the dude and his ability to make cool shit. I just think that if it were me, it's funny. The Nun is a lesser film, and we haven't all seen it, so this is kind of, you're just gonna have to take my word for it, I guess. But
sure,
that movie's a lesser movie in terms of scope and skill and director and all that. It's just a lesser film. However, I had more fun in The Nun than I did this, because The Nun is just balls to the wall. There's a crazy nun in this castle, and we're all going to die. And it's set in the 50s, and there's priests yelling stuff, and the nun's terrible, and all this stuff. And it's just kind of a good romp. Where this one wasn't it wasn't really a romp. There were moments of real terror, like real scary moments. That's the reason it's rated R. There's no sex. There's no swearing. There's no no other reason.
Oh, but there's some foot jerking. Ooh, that would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's my
point. If I was
point.
sleeping and something went, snatch my leg and jerk me. Oh my God.
The trivia says James Wan,
hair pulling and stuff. Yeah.
James Wan and some other people, the producers, were surprised they got an R rating, and when they petitioned the MPAA, according to the trivia, they said it's just because this thing's so scary. It's nothing about the content. There's no blood in this thing hardly. It's a little bit
some very intense moments, and it's played really well. By the young actresses who are just I totally believed that there was something behind the door. I'm like, oh, she was good.
Yeah,
it was so good.
The little sister, the one that was home when they were all at school,
right? Unfortunately, it's hard for me to remember exactly who it is, because on IMDb, all these people are now grown.
They're all adults.
They don't look nothing like their kid pictures. And I'm like, oh, which kid was it again? Because there was 4 of them, I think. Which is April,
Joey
Cindy,
King was the
Nancy.
Yeah. They all have Brady Bunch names too.
And they all have Brady Bunch names, so I apologize. They all did amazing in convincing me. Just great facial acting of, oh shit.
I think Joey King for me was the best of the bunch too, with her, like, she was the one who was freaking out.
She stood
about the demon behind the door that her sister wasn't seeing and all that stuff. And
she has a standout face. You know she was going somewhere. So.
Yeah. Is she, well, you look at it, it's like, is that Chloe Grace Snow? She's very similar look between Joey King and Chloe Grace.
Yeah, and 2013 would have been about right for that too. So I could see that.
For me, it was Kyla Deaver as April. She's the youngest, and she has the amazing role of carrying around this music box that when you open it up, it makes a mirror swirl, and you look in the mirror. And that's just a great, by the way, absolutely great idea, prop, etc. not the first time we've ever seen it, but it was just really, really well handled, this movie. You find yourself looking into that mirror and just bracing. And the movie never pays it off. The movie gives you a couple of little glimpses, but it never like jump scares you looking in that mirror. And I really appreciate that.
I did too.
Boy, the young one's gone on to do nothing, mostly horror movies. That's it.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's fine. Make a career out of whatever you got to do.
But doing that, do it.
Yeah.
James Wan's first assistant director on this movie was Albert Cho, and Albert Cho is known for being like a legendary assistant director, right?
Right.
And this is our first James Wan movie on FilmSack, but we have seen Albert Cho's movies on FilmSack for years. Like, he was the assistant director on Beverly Hills Cop 3 and Lethal Weapon 2 and National Treasure and The Adventures of Ford Fairlane and this kind of thing. And I just love that. I love those little things about these kind of movies where you have like, it feels like a newer movie to me, but you can have people who are kind of like very experienced at the helm, so to speak.
Sure. Well, that stuff's amazing. Like, I will give this film big credit for vibe and tone. And
what about your ghost hunters there for a minute? Well, what'd you think about Officer Brad? And
those
Drew?
guys.
I love Officer Brad. I love this crew.
Do you? I'm not so sure about Officer Brad, but it was the only time I maybe laughed in the movie. There wasn't much.
I
comedy.
really wanted Officer Brad and Drew to have their own show.
The wall by
Yeah. Plus, his name is John Brotherton, which is just a great name. Brotherton.
And then Shannon Cook was Drew. He was the technician guy, right? Oh, I love some of the sound design work in this thing too.
Yeah.
I love these nods they had, like the 70s era facial zoom. It zooms in way too fast. Always creeps me out. There's something so super, like, zoom doesn't bother me as long as you take it at a leisurely pace. But once you get over a certain speed, when you're zooming in on people's faces, it's really weird.
Well, that's 70s as hell too, right? Very 70s technique.
Such a dissonance to it. And it just really freaks me out. But I loved when they were micing up and everything and doing the, cranking it up and getting the white noise going on. That was just
a lot of ambient noise.
Sound design. I'm somewhere between Dunaway and the other two of you. Scott and Randy.
The other two guys.
The other two guys. No, I mean, I'm just like, basically positioned somewhere between as far as I thought this was good. I immediately can think of other horror movies I've seen recently, newer ones that I think do a better job with suspense and do very little gore, very little jump scares, but still scare the crap out of me. Barbarian is the first one that comes to mind as
that thing.
Great modern horror, but
that thing's
I mean, I think I'm kind of, like Dunaway, I kind of want to see the rest of the universe to kind of fill in and maybe appreciate this one more as a one piece of a whole rather than it on its own.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. As much as I don't love haunted house movies, I kind of do want to see the rest of them. I haven't seen any of the spinoffs, none of the prequel, well, except The Nun. I saw The Nun.
You've seen The Nun, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd be even interested in The Nun 2, which I guess is in theaters now. Saw X is still out there too. I kind of want to see that.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of wonder if Patrick Wilson is up to the task. And I guess we can see
he has a new one being made right now. So,
but like we have history now, and these movies haven't done that well, right? They're not like a towering giant series.
They've done well enough.
They've done well in the horror department. Feel like they've done pretty good.
Yeah, they've done well enough. They're definitely making their money, right?
Yeah,
they're paying their way.
They're. I mean, when this movie came out, the year it came out was a big surprise hit. Like, people flocked to it for some reason. I don't know what happened that year, but it beat all the other competition, which was, I can't remember what the competition was. There's something that was huge that was opening that weekend.
2013.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Shit. There was something.
We'll look up movies from 2013 and find out.
Yeah, there was something that debuted similar time and got creamed by it, which nobody saw coming. So I don't know. Audience.
Was it movie 43? Oh, that wasn't.
I'm sure that was it. Yes.
The Purge, same year. Now that was also a genre defining.
That was also a big hit, though. The Purge was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
But again, a big hit in terms of like, horror tier hits are different than.
Wow. If you put movies from 2013, everything listed is horror movies.
It's a big year
is
for
that
horror.
Google? Is that Google reading me, or is it? I would literally put movies from 2013. What to watch: Purge, Mama, The Conjuring, Double, Good and Evil. What's this one?
So,
Dark Skies.
The
All
day
Hallows
this was
Eve.
the Friday this was released, Friday, July 19th. You had the sequel to Red, the Bruce Willis, John Malkovich. You had R.I.P.D., the Rest in Peace department.
Yeah. Ooh, say it.
I know, another coming soon to a film sec near you. And then just like a bunch of garbage like Girl Most Likely, Only God Forgives, Evidence, Grabbers, Iceberg Slim, Ways to Live Forever, Under the Bed, The Act of Killing. Yeah, I can't.
We got okay. I don't know what it was. Something got something got hit, and I don't remember what it was. So I don't even.
It could have been. Let me see what was the week before, because it might have just still been a.
Maybe it knocked something out
where
of top slot or something.
Pacific Rim was the week before.
That might have been it. That might have been it. I was
Grown Ups 2.
Yeah, and that movie was a decent year
VHS
for
2.
Good movies like Captain Phillips came out that year. Her, that was great. Great Gatsby, Lone Survivor, 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle. That first Hobbit movie.
Oh, that was the highest grossing films.
Second
2013.
Hobbit. It was a big
Frozen.
one. Frozen was the biggest. Wow.
Yeah, Frozen.
Hunger Games did real well. Catching Fire. You had your Dallas Buyers Club, Saving Mr. Banks. You had a lot of Oscar shit in there. August Osage County. Star Trek Into Darkness. Ooh.
Yeah.
Snowpiercer. Best movie that year. Snowpiercer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, is the Insidious? Those movies aren't tied to this, right? That's a different deal.
I don't think there's anything.
That's not a
crossover.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like it feels like it when you look at it. It's like, oh, is that is that a doll knows a kid? Ah, scary. Maybe so. Oh, it's Patrick Wilson's in it. Maybe that's the
connection. That might be.
Maybe.
This is 2 years before Patrick Wilson.
Story-wise, though, was it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, the films are The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, Annabelle Comes Home, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, The Nun 2, and Annabelle Goes to Camp. So just those.
Patrick, So just Patrick Wilson's your connection there. That's pretty much it.
Please tell me you made the Annabelle Goes to Camp.
I totally made that last
one. All right. Because I was gonna claim off the rails shark jumping going on
a little bit,
but it was something
Annabelle
about it.
Saves Christmas.
Oh, I'd watch that.
I also don't like haunted doll movies. I don't love the Chucky things, other than the tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Oh, but that's not a doll movie, right?
Yeah, Chucky's a doll.
I guess it is.
It's completely adult.
He's like a toy,
but here's,
though.
but all right. So as someone, but Brian, you've seen the Annabelle movies, correct?
Yeah. Well, I've seen the first one. Did I see the second one? I don't think I've seen.
Okay. Well, we can.
Yeah.
You can answer my question just based on the first one. In this movie, they say, well, Annabelle actually, it's just a doll. It's just the doll that was the conduit for Bathsheba to make it to this plane of existence and start hunting shit. So if Annabelle the doll is not really that relevant, why are there 3 Annabelle movies?
Right. Or the nun painting. Why does it not matter? There she is. I mean, I'm sure you can tell me this done away in the Annabelle movie.
Do they re-hunt the doll, or
do they have stuff with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga at the beginning or end where they do a little TED talk about the doll?
It's kind of hilarious because I kind of forgotten that it was less about them in The Conjuring. I thought they were in it a whole lot more, but it's been about 2 years since I watched The Conjuring, maybe. And now you're making me question if there's. I don't think there's. I think they do some cuts, but did they ever actually in the Annabelle thing that they? Geez, now I can't remember. It's been probably just as long since I watched it. Maybe at least 2 or 3 years more or more.
Yeah, I don't know.
The movie Annabelle doesn't list them as actors. Like it's got Alfred Woodard.
Yeah, it's got a couple of cast members that are pretty good. Tony Amendola, we like him. He plays Father Perez. Big shock. That's about it.
So it does say it's a prequel to The Conjuring. So
it's a prequel, yeah.
So basically,
I'm not sure if they show
is it the story of the nurses? Basically, the nurses who had the doll in their house and
right. Yeah, the nurses.
The third one, the third one's called Annabelle Comes Home. It's from 2019, and it does star Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. So that's a good sign, I think.
Have I seen another one?
They tie it all together.
I'm trying so hard to really come around on this movie. I really want to, because there's a thing we do every year now, and it's not something that used to be a thing. I really genuinely believe that more than like 20 years ago, there weren't clubs of people who would sit and watch scary movies in October. Like we're part of a trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And doing this it gives you feelings, like you want to like the movies. Like just this week, I heard about a movie, and I like went and looked it up, and I was like, this is a scary movie I've never heard of. And I was like, I'm putting this on my list, like not Film Sack list, just my personal, I'm going to watch this scary movie sometime before the end of this month. And that's just weird,
Yeah.
But like, I hope it's good. And I want this movie I really want to come away remembering The Conjuring as like a movie that I'm going to watch again some October in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, I think this movie's good enough to make it an annual thing like that. I don't want to make it sound like I hate this movie. I just am mad at the genre of haunted houses. That's all, really.
I know we've got our Sacktober list, pretty squared away. But let me know now. Are we thinking we're going to watch some more of these, or should I? If I'm interested in following the Conjuverse or the Anniverse or whatever it is,
I would really like to try to watch Annabelle next year. Yes.
Oh, that'd be great.
Annabelle, but if you went mainline Conjuring movies, Brian,
and just stayed in the Conjuring sequels, I could do that.
Or what if? Oh, see, I don't know if they have like crossover though. Do they have like stuff that would matter crossover? You know what I mean? Like The
Nun, you mean, or
no. Like I mean, like does Annabelle? Because these movies came between each other, so Conjuring 1 and 2 are split by an Annabelle movie. Is that important for 2? I don't know.
Annabelle.
I don't know.
No. Annabelle appears in the. You don't need that. It's not that. It's not that deep.
Okay.
I mean, they touch each one of them. They kind of like reach out a little bit, but yeah, it's not that severe.
Yeah, that's we almost need like the timeline, or I guess there's something has the timeline on it. Yeah, the Wikipedia page does have the timeline. So the Nun and Nun 2 take place in the 50s.
Right. That's the
Annabelle
first.
Creation is 56 or 58.
Was it that far back? I know there was like a doctor and something in the Annabelle, and then I don't know how the nurses.
I don't know.
Somebody medical.
And then you've got
medical stuff.
Annabelle takes place the year before The Conjuring. Then Annabelle comes home a year after The Conjuring. 7 years after Annabelle. I'm sorry. 6 years after The Conjuring is The Conjuring 2, and then another 4 years after that is Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. Right. By the way, Annabelle, the movie Annabelle, also stars a favorite of mine, and I think probably Scott's as well. Annabelle Wallace. Annabelle stars in Annabelle. But from Peaky Blinders, Shelby's initial love interest. The blonde. She's really good.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about her before. She's great.
Mm-hmm. She's
great.
What
movie I really love during this time, and for some reason, every time I watch a haunted house movie, I really just love Kevin Bacon's Stir of Echoes. I love that movie.
Oh, I forgot about that movie. I don't know if I ever saw it.
Oh, it's so good.
Stir of Echoes. Why do I not?
Well, okay. I think it's so good.
All right. I believe you. I do.
Yeah.
David Koepp directed, Kevin Bacon, Ileana Douglas.
It's a short watch. It's how I like my horrors.
I just realized
about an hour and a half.
I just realized a contradiction in my head. I really like The Shining, but it's a haunted bigger house, but it's still a haunted house.
Yeah. What'd you think about the Ryan Reynolds when he does the Amityville Horror?
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? We should watch that one too.
Wait, Ryan Reynolds.
Once again,
was this a reboot of Amityville that I completely forgot about? Completely blacked out.
Okay. Absolutely, it is. And we didn't watch it here. Okay, fine.
No, we watched the first one because I needed to get over my fear of that damn movie.
Oh yeah, the Ryan Reynolds one. I thought he did a
pretty good job. I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was okay.
Ryan Reynolds, Melissa George, and Jimmy Bennett from 2005.
This one has Chloe Grace in it. So if you want some Chloe Grace looking Chloe Grace, here you go.
Yeah, I like her.
Instead of just a Chloe Grace lookalike, you get the real Chloe Grace.
You get the real.
So, interesting. Philip Baker Hall's in that. Oh my gosh. Maybe we should.
Like
see
I
that.
said, it's not the best, but it provided entertainment. I like watching Ryan Reynolds slowly lose his shit. It's pretty good.
But isn't Ed?
I can tell you that October is just not long enough for all the hard.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
Especially for me.
We can still pepper them throughout the year, but whatever. We like to cram all these in. So am I up in the night, or did I read that Ed and what's her name, the real people, Warren,
Ed Warren,
were the
Lorraine.
ones that went to the Amityville horror house like the actual house?
They had their fingers in everything. I'm sure they did. By the way, Vera Farmiga was also, well, I guess about this time where this movie set, I guess she was also in Norman's
she was
attic,
Norman
right?
Bates
Motel.
Yeah, she was
thing.
up in
She was Norman Bates. You're right. She would. She would be. I mean, in a real way, she would become Norman Bates in a weird way.
She would transform.
Well, kind of the other way around.
The other way
Norman
around.
Bates
Yeah,
would
that's
become
right.
Her, yeah.
Yeah.
But was she filming Bates Motel around this time? I guess so.
Oh,
Yeah.
I meant like timeline is in the
Oh,
individual. You're in
gotcha.
the 70s, right?
Oh, because she was.
Placed her
That's
in
funny
the
you say that because she was literally in that Bates Motel show. She was the mom.
That's
That's your point. Oh, okay.
that was the joke. That was it.
I see what you've done. We've deconstructed that
I
joke.
did a poor job of it.
2017 Bates Motel.
Yeah,
Right.
I liked that in the beginning. I don't think I stuck with it though. I think I kind of fell off.
It gets a little bit because they won't hurry up and kill her, and it's like you just kill her. We know she's gonna die. Just
Well, that, but also Norman trying to paint a picture of Norman Bates that was more, I don't know, you wanted to like him, sort of. It's like,
yeah.
There was a sympathy. I mean, it was.
Yeah, he's supposed.
You're supposed to believe. Yeah, you're always supposed to believe that his mom created Norman Bates.
Right.
Like she made Norman who he became, as opposed to him having it in him.
We should watch Psycho 4. Yes, there was 4 psychos.
Was there a fourth
You
Psycho?
could do Psycho 2. I don't know
Psycho
how far
2's pretty
much
good.
further. Psycho 2 is pretty good.
Three's interesting.
Because you get what's his face comes back for Psycho 2. Anthony.
Yep.
Michael Hall. No.
Perkins.
Perkins.
Hawkins.
Anthony Perkins.
Perkins. Is that Perkins? No, that's not right. That's not right.
Anthony
That's
Perkins.
not right.
Anthony Perkins.
Okay.
It's 100% right. Psycho.
Did he direct one of them? Which one did he direct? Like,
oh, I don't know.
2 or 3?
The fourth one is directed by somebody named Mick Garris. This thing is poorly reviewed.
Mick
but
Garris, who I love. You ever watch Trailers from Hell?
yeah, but look at this, dude. Anthony Perkins, CCH Pounder, Henry Thomas.
Yes, this is a fun one.
Is that the second one?
No, this is the fourth one.
Fourth one. So Anthony Perkins did come back for the fourth one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's in all of them.
Oh, and he's in the third one too. All right.
Yeah, he's in all of them.
Yeah, he was down to clown. He was in.
He really was. I mean, what else has he got?
Yeah, he didn't have much else.
I'm still waiting for the day when we get told off and told that we have to pronounce CCH Pounder like Kacha Pounder or
Kacha
something.
Pounder.
Pounder.
Chicka Pounder.
Chicka Pounder.
I like her a lot. But yeah, like
you're in your middle of your ER watching, so you've got plenty of CCH Pounder.
oh yeah, she hasn't shown up yet, but you're right, she does at some point. I mean, you know what I've found so far is that everyone and their dog shows up on ER at one point. Like
That's
the
true.
the cast of Hollywood is in ER eventually.
Right.
It's crazy. I thought it was bad with NYPD Blue, like just the amount of guest stars, but ER is like way ahead of the curve. It's crazy.
What exactly would it take for you to not move out of your 70s home with your 4 kids and wife?
I'd move.
With all this stuff. You like first day, as soon as the first weird shit happens. I thought you didn't believe it. I thought you didn't believe in ghosts, Scott.
Tell me the gum on my shoe thing one more time. No, but if I'm in a house and any of that shit starts happening, whether I believe it or not, I believe enough of it to say, yeah, let's move. I am not so
I'm not a believer.
Yeah, exactly.
I could be easily swayed.
Yeah.
Guess what? My skepticism is 95%. That 5% just says, let's move and you know.
Wait, let's not risk it. Let's go ahead and just
Well,
move out.
here's what I picture actually happened. These were troubled people. The Warrens gravitated toward people who thought they heard and saw shit.
Yeah,
and it was all self what's the word where you self-fulfilling prophecy across the board, projection, constant, like, well, if the pipes are loud, aka there's a ghost. Like, if it's I couldn't be, I'd move out because I can't be around those people. Not the house.
So once they moved in, so you could be until Patrick Wilson shows up. You're pretty good. Even if you so let me tell you. Okay, let's see. If I walked into the house, all right, let's see. We bought the house sight unseen, like Randy said.
Yeah,
I'm assuming they did anyway because they just kind of showed up. Oh, look at the house. And then I was in a closet and I found a room boarded up. That may be all it takes. Really, that would be. It was like, oh, and we unboard it. Go down there, see some piano. I wouldn't even want to go downstairs.
I mean, I
lights
wouldn't
their
want to
way
go
with a
down
match. Did we ever do that
Oh,
with
yeah.
them? We had flashlights. In the
No,
Yeah,
and if
apparently-
you're holding a match too, you've got to hold it with the flame up, or else that thing is just going to burn right through the wood, right to your fingers, and make you drop it like it did.
Yep.
Yeah, and you don't light two at a time and hold them sideways. That's just
Yeah.
everything
Burns
about that
so
whole
fast.
And you're
It
right,
burns just
Dunaway.
fast
You
that
should
way.
have a big old fat flashlight with like 3 double D's
It's
in
the
there.
70s.
Yeah.
We love flashlights.
Big old
It was like, you need that,
NiCad.
you need
Yeah.
that weapon wielding metal, or aluminum flashlight.
Yeah.
Good town, man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I will say this: the hole and then finding the extra part of the house down there. Livingston's like, oh, we got more square footage. Sweet, our value just went
Right.
up or whatever. But I would not want to be down there at all. I would not want to
I
spend
love
time
how
down
this
there.
movie. I'll tell you what. It may be that I give this movie a lot of room because of how it was shot. I just appreciate the mastery of how they shot this thing, constantly being just far enough away from the scary shit that's happening, and it's just dark enough in the crevices that your mind is feeling everything. Like when she's downstairs and that ball comes flying out from behind one of the shelves, I'm shitting my pants.
Mhm.
That's just that is just super scary.
Well, they do
that
such a great job.
intentional.
That was one of the clips I watched again this morning because I felt like it was one of the better suspense clips because they do a great
Yeah.
job of kind of the shaky cam thing looking all around the basement, and they've placed all of these things, or in that basement cellar thing, they've placed all of these things that, like, ooh, that could be a person standing there, oh, that thing could be a person, body lying on the floor, kind of thing. And as you look, it's like, oh no, that's just the way that the cloth is hanging on the mirror, or that's just the way that this is hanging over here.
We can all appreciate that, right? Because we've all been
for
kids
sure.
waking up
We've
middle
all
of the
looked at
night,
stuff like that,
looking at the
yes.
corner, going, "What the hell is that?" That's
We
a
turn the
human.
light on and realize it's just our sock monkey on a chair or something like that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is that what you called your sock when you were a teenager?
Yeah,
It was
it's
a
a
real
sock
crispy
monkey.
sock monkey.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Wow.
What just happened to
Wow.
our podcast?
Where have we gone?
I just took Brian's joke and took it one level further.
Yeah, just one notch over. That's all.
Just one
Yeah,
notch.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
I just
fun.
made that. I just made that hanging laundry turn into a body and fly up to the
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
Don't worry about
total-
it.
That was
Totally
the scariest thing we've talked about this whole show.
Yeah.
That sheet that catches on a demon and then it
Oh,
flies on
that
up
was
to the
cool.
window. That was, I mean, it was very effective. I was
Great,
I was moved.
great effect. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, that
Shot
tree
me.
was fake. They built it.
What? They
Yeah.
built a tree?
Yep,
Yeah,
they
that was
built
the
it.
perfect. That's the most
They
perfect.
didn't create
hanging
a
tree.
perfectly hanging branch tree.
No, I mean, it seems
That tree was.
Are they-
It
That
looks
tree was grown for hanging, man.
find
It was
one
like
for- yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
made to hang people, multiple people,
Yeah.
really. But yeah, they built that thing 50 feet. They built it to look like a real tree because they couldn't find anything like it that was naturally grown out of the ground, which makes sense because how many trees are bent like that? Very, very few. I'm afraid.
the witch's scariest form in this movie for me is when she's hovering and all you can see is her feet.
And she slowly turns around.
When Lorraine fell through the floors, and oh my god, that was just terrifying with those dirty, nasty feet. Was that what grossed you out the most, God? Do you wash your witchy feet?
I wrote this down. Let's get a guess going for this because I actually kind of am torn on a couple of these, but let me play that. All right. So what do you think?
It was either that or Lily Taylor taking the goo to the mouth. Even though it doesn't matter if it was Jello. I don't want anybody.
You're correct.
Spewing.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, in order to do that, that stuff is coming from the stomach of the person who's spewing.
Yeah.
Right. Like
yeah, it's foul.
not. Yeah, it's like I can't. I understand how they made the movie. I get it. But what I saw, what I saw was someone evacuating their stomach into someone else's mouth.
Yeah,
and that's just like,
and not even like a healthy evacuate. It's not like here's tonight's stew we had. This is some kind of black bloody ooze.
It is the soul, like your black soul.
Yeah,
getting sucked out.
Your black bile from way down, and that always gets me. Like that's always going to be a problem in a movie for me. But I also know that it's fake. I know how they film it. I know how it's done. But it doesn't matter. It's such a revolting concept.
And sometimes the practical effects, just knowing even that it's fake stuff, that's probably added CGI. I don't know. Maybe not. But
maybe not.
I wouldn't think so in 2013.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe
I mean,
not back
I think
then.
when she
who
puked
knows?
downstairs when the demon left her in the basement, I think that puke was CG because it looked weird. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if
the,
you call upon the CGI guys in 2013 to make some puke. I just don't know if you would. I just don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. But you could achieve this with all sorts of camera angles, which I kind of think is what they did. She didn't really go in her mouth. I don't know. Oh, that's so foul, dude. Oh my god,
that's just so gross. What does it taste like? Oh god,
just
I can't
the
even
worst. The worst. Like I cannot imagine anything worse than that happening to any. Whenever they do a zombie movie where the way the zombies transfer their zombiness is to pin the victim down and then hurl in their face all that blood in their face.
Yeah.
That is rough. That is a rough
Don't do that.
piece of business. Yeah.
It's like, you can't get me. Ha ha. Oh, yeah, I can use my projectile vomiting.
That's so bad, man.
Your stomach bile should not be a weapon.
There's another interesting bit of trivia here. I didn't know. Still don't know what this is. But anyway, this was the first film directed by James Wan not to feature a cameo of Billy Puppet Doll from the Saw series.
Oh, really?
That would have been, probably because that would have been a conflict, right? Annabelle probably had a contract right up on that. It's like, no other dolls in my film, please.
Well, it says the first one, so it means everything prior to this. It doesn't mean Fast and the Furious 7 had one or Star Trek Beyond.
Yes, it does.
Oh, really? That
Does
was like
That's exactly what it means. Let's find. Wait,
okay.
Fast 7 came after this. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I'm saying anything after it, like Aquaman, Furious 7. What else did he direct? Shit. Where's his director shit?
So he only has a few movies before this one. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, he was what do you have? Dead. Okay, so after Saw,
I didn't realize that the puppet is named Billy and not Jigsaw. I thought the puppet was Jigsaw as well.
I did too. I didn't.
That's funny. I've never thought
no
of that.
idea.
Sure. I think you're
Every
right.
once in a while, I see that actor in something. I saw him on Seinfeld last night.
Oh God, yeah.
So weird.
Wait, so this is the first time it didn't have. Wasn't all the rest of them Saw movies? Of course the.
Ow. Okay, now sorry, my brain. The Insidious movies are directed by him. They're just they're not part of
the other. That's the other connected.
Just unrelated, but not part of
universe.
The
is not the same.
different
universe.
Yeah, different universe, and I think that one's like kind of a Damien kind of thing, like it's a evil kid or something, whatever it is. Anyway, so what they're saying is, so from Conjuring forward, did that Billy doll show up in any of this Fast and the Furious shit, or MacGyver, or Aquaman, or any of that? I don't know the answer to that. I always mix him up with the guy who directed the third modern Star Trek movie. Always do.
You
that.
mean Leonard Nimoy?
No.
What about Mars Star Trek?
Third modern.
You did say modern. I'm sorry.
Star Trek Beyond, I think, right?
Beyond. Thank you. Could not remember the name of the damn thing. That was directed by someone. Justin Lin. So what I've done is I've been racist. Is what I've done. I've lumped all the Asian directors in together, and that's what I've done. That's fantastic. Justin Lin also
Justin
great
Lin
director.
has spent years now only directing the Magnum PI TV show.
What?
Yeah.
Or only producing it. He's an executive producer.
He did Fast 10. He did Fast 10. Oh no, did he do Fast 10? Let's see.
No, Fast 9. He was the director of Fast
9. That's right. And then Star Trek Beyond, True Detectives, like some really big stuff. And then he just stopped. Then did a ton of Magnum PI, then Fast 9, then a ton more Magnum PI.
Yeah.
It's a weird career that guy's got.
He has a movie coming up, and it's got a guy's name. It's about a person, and by name.
Oh,
and it just like it stuck with me when I saw some news on this, because it's like Justin Lin is making a mysterious movie. I would like to know more, because they didn't say anything about it.
Oh,
is this perhaps the most off topic we've ever gotten? We've got a director that reminds you of another director, and now we're talking about.
Oh, we've done worse.
Other directors' movies.
We've done worse. We've done
furthest.
One I like is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He can really pull off the bun hair.
Yeah,
the bun man hair. I will say this is a little
as hard as that Chevy that they never got let know if it got.
Oh
fixed.
yeah, the Chevy never got worked. Did you ever get the Chevy working? I remember.
No. Yeah.
Okay. 70 Chevy, piece of shit. Don't drive that.
Oh no, this was a 50s. This was a 50s.
Oh, was it 50s
yeah,
Chevy?
That was a 50s.
Oh,
it was working on the carburetor and everything.
That probably works
I
better.
knew that. I just, for some reason in my head, I was like, they're gonna escape in that thing. That's gonna be
is that going to be the right? Oh, the only car we can get going is this dilapidated old Chevy. It did feel like it was a setup.
I also thought it was going to wake up like Christine and like drive toward them as they were out in front of the house.
You know what? I think
it was definitely the Chevy in the bucket.
Can we
grab a bucket?
We're giving it that to the car because I don't think anything else was too dropped off, but that car never
the chick in the garage.
Yeah, the chick in the garage.
Chevy in the bucket. Got it. Not going to happen.
We all have a chick in the garage. By the way, one of the writers did a load of Beastmaster television show productions. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, if you were,
how do we feel about the Beastmaster? Do we still like it?
The movie?
Did we ever like it?
I liked when that movie was on when I was a kid. I thought it was the best thing ever. But
the movie is amazing, right?
Yeah, TV show.
I mean, it's not really, but it is.
It's a thing of its time. We were all a thing at that time.
Some of the
I haven't seen it in about 30 years, but I don't
you saw it with us, right? Didn't we do it? I thought
did we watch it for Film Sec, Beastmaster?
Can't remember.
Oh yeah, because it was the Mark Singer taking like they were in a river or something.
Yeah,
this was only 3 years ago.
JJ's dad was on it. It was so good.
3 years ago, Beastmaster.
We watched Beastmaster in the early days of the pandemic.
Yeah.
How did we really?
Yeah, that's weird. We only have, by the way, this is fun little trivia. We only have 3 movies with the word beast in it that we've done. That one, Beastmaster. We did one, The Beast with a Million Eyes from 2014, which just makes me think of Fletcher going, a million eyes. He's having his car millionized or whatever. And then The Beast from 2000 Fathoms. That's it, all 3.
We need to watch the newest movie called The Beast with Idris Elba and...
oh, yeah, watch that.
Yeah.
It was
you
good.
did watch it? How was it?
We need to watch
it was
the sexy
good.
Beast.
It was really, really predictable and kind of not at all creatively written. But I will say I've never seen better CGI animals in my life.
Oh, really? Sackable?
Yes, I think sackable.
Okay.
I think so. There's not a lot of talking, but it's sackable in all the other ways. Yeah, I think so. Maybe we'll give it 6 months so I don't have to see it that quick, but it was like I say, these tiger or this runaway lion thing that was pissed is so ultra realistic that the only thing that distracted me about it was knowing that it wasn't real, but somehow it never didn't look real, and that's still distracting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even with perfect CGI, you know that it's not possible. Idris Elba's having this particular moment with a real cat. And so your brain won't let you gloss over it and park your brain.
Right. It's because of the cat's behavior, not because of anything you're visually seeing that's incorrect. It's like, that just doesn't happen.
Well, it's not that the cat's behavior, it's just that they wouldn't be able to get a cat and a man to fight the way they're fighting without the loss of life.
Without the cat forgetting that it's acting and biting the guy's head off.
Sorry about that. I got wrapped up in the scene.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my method.
But from that but from the perspective of just sort of, the technical achievement, it's very impressive. Yeah. It's like, wow, can't believe they pulled that off.
A long, long time ago, my sister and her husband had a Springer Spaniel living next door to them. It was like the dog of the neighbors, and the neighbors were not really paying a lot of attention to the dog.
Okay.
And this dog could jump the fence. And I mean, it could jump the fence like the fence didn't exist. It was amazing how you could walk out into my sister's backyard and call the dog, and it would come out of the dog door in the back of the house, jump over the fence onto their deck, and then you had a dog. And it was I just loved it. I loved how this dog could jump. And the thing that my brother-in-law noticed was when a dog jumps over a 6-foot fence, it must be really good at landing, right? Like it's both the jump and the landing that it was really good at. So my brother-in-law started throwing the dog over the fence, and he would just like go out there and call the dog. The dog would jump over. Then he would pick up the dog and just hurl it into the air, and it would land on the other side. And it was so happy.
How come I feel like I'm hearing about a crime?
You're not hearing about a crime. This dog freaking loved this. It was like so happy, but it looked quite questionable.
Right.
If you were in the house and you looked out the back door, the glass door, and you saw my brother-in-law throwing this dog.
Would this be the type of dog that if you moved into a witch-possessed house, you might bark and say, "No, I'm not going in"?
Oh, that's something else that we completely skipped over about this movie.
Yeah.
How do you not? How do you just like get over the dog dying? Like, so the dog dies, and we're just like, next scene.
Yeah.
I am very much. I understand why humans and dogs got together way back when, because I'm very sensitive. Like if my dog goes and starts growling at something that I can't see, I'm like, nope, let's go, brother. Come on, let's get out of here. I don't know what you're seeing, but I trust your senses way more than I trust mine. If my dog won't go into a house, I'm not going in.
Then he's like, okay, you know something I don't. Great, let's go to the Motel 6.
Wow, dogs, man.
Forget that. Oh, by the way, Internet Card Database, totally a thing. Internet Movie Database, totally a thing. Dog movie database,
internet dog database.
Yeah,
not a thing.
We need a database of the breeds, and if possible, the actual name of the dog that played the role.
Yeah, there's a Tumblr account called Dogs and Movies Database, but it's not, it's just a bunch of blog posts. That's not a database.
That's not the
same. I need a searchable database where I can go, what kind of dog was this? Because I never got a great look at the dog. Was he just like a crossbreed of some sort? Can I say mutt? Will they be offended?
Ooh,
why did you say mutt?
Yeah, that's
How do you say
you're going to get doggy canceled if you keep that.
Right? Yeah. All right. I won't say that then. Fine.
There's a list on Rotten Tomatoes of the best dog movies ranked by tomatoes.
Oh my
Rotten
God!
Tomatoes.
I bet you Randy has something to say on that.
Number 1, Old Yeller from '57. So Old Yeller's at number 1. Red Dog and True Blue from 2016. I've never even heard of that.
Red Bullet Dog.
101 Dalmatians from '61, the animated one. Lassie Go Home, Best in Show is on here.
Wait, there was a Lassie Go Home? I thought there was a Lassie Come Home, but there was a Go Home as well.
Oh shit, you're right.
Lassie.
It is
Lassie, get your ass home.
It is Come Home.
Already,
It looks
Lassie.
like
You're
Go
drunk.
Home.
You're drunk, Lassie. Go home.
Lassie, you're drunk.
You're totally right. Snoopy Come Home. I didn't know that existed.
I don't know. None of these dogs died except for Old Yeller, and that.
No, Snoopy Come Home was like a staple of our. That was like a '70s one, right? Where like Snoopy disappears and Charlie Brown goes to find him. That one wrecked me, man.
Yeah, that was rough.
I totally remember that one.
I can't watch that kind of stuff anymore. White Fang's on here. I mean, everything's on here. I am not seeing any Airbuds though. All the Airbuds are off the list. I don't know.
That's
where
bullshit.
The lowest rated one they have here is Scooby and the Reluctant Werewolf from '88, and it's a Scooby-Doo thing. That's the
Reluctant Werewolf.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a werewolf that's like it's been turned down a few times, you know.
Exactly.
Like I can't be rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is werewolf had to call a hotline and talk to a stranger.
I'm not going to scare you if you're not going to believe me.
Yeah, he's very reluctant. I can see that.
He's ran to Scott before.
Do you have any silver bullets? You have to tell me if you have any silver bullets.
Yeah, you have to tell me. That's the law. I don't make the rules.
You got to tell me.
I would watch that movie. Clips.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah, these are
Clippies from the old Word. Okay.
Yeah, from the old Word. Microsoft Clippy. He's here to help. So let's do that. Let's see. I got some here. How about this one? The scariest sound in the movie for my money is right here. When people wake you up with a banging door that loud.
That's waking up the nurses. Apparently, at that point, Annabelle doesn't give a shit about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
No.
5 knocks.
Yeah, 5
Anybody
knocks.
else notice that people go to sleep pretty easily in this movie? Like, if I came home and there was crayon written all over the place, I don't think I would be in a dead sleep 5 minutes later.
Yeah, they were all really. Yeah, you're right.
My other nurses, they're exhausted from work.
Now, I this is probably the thing that had the hardest problem with, because as a dad, I'd be so pissed. There's no way I'd be scared. I'd be just pissed. Are you serious right now, you weird haunted doll?
Yeah.
Crayons.
I'd be like, gosh dang it, I need to sleep. I got to work tomorrow. The truck won't start. Oh, what a nightmare.
No, forget that crap.
Here's another one that scared me. Don't like that. No, thank you.
Nothing worse than quiet and then somebody fist pounding a door. That's
when your door is made out of pure bass drum, it really sucks.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's like deep in the heart of Texas or something.
Oh. How did you pull that one up? I didn't know you knew that song.
I mean,
thanks to Pee-wee's Big Adventure, we all know that song.
I guess we all do. Where's the doll now?
Where's the doll now?
I don't know. Somewhere in that room. Here's some advice from what's his name? Ed. Ed has some advice.
Nothing's a toy. Not even the toy monkey.
Not even toys. Nothing's a toy. Okay. Here's
There's a bunch of toys in here, Dad. I want to play with them old creepy toys. Are those some haunted Lincoln logs?
Yeah.
Give me them.
Oh, haunted Lincoln logs.
Yeah.
What would those
the spirit
do?
of literal Lincoln in it.
Oh,
he's all like,
shit.
oh, somebody shot me. And you
how you
fun.
can tell they're haunted is the notches are all different sizes, and so you can't stack the logs on top
Can't
of other
stack 'em.
logs to make a cabin to save your life.
All right,
Right.
forgive me for what I'm about to ask, but Dunaway made me think it. Are they called Lincoln logs because they're based
Because
on Lincoln's old cabin,
Lincoln's
or
cabin?
or are they
because you
link
them together?
Lincoln logs? You know,
There you go. Now you're getting it.
linking
Now you're getting the
Yeah.
pun.
Oh shit! Did they mean it both ways? Maybe they meant it both
Of
ways.
course, I would assume so. I've always assumed that anyway. Maybe I'm
All right.
wrong.
Well, you said a course.
you're
I need some proof for a
so
course.
But I mean, I feel of course because it's always seemed to be true in my head.
All right.
But I don't know if that's
believe it.
truth.
Provide
It could
me
be
some
a distant
evidence.
tell. It's because it's modeled after the President Abraham Lincoln's fabled
His house,
childhood
his log cabin.
Yes,
Yeah.
But
childhood log
I always
cabin.
assumed it was because of that. But
You may be right. I've just never asked the question until today.
What does this mean for Lincoln Park? What about the Beatles? Oh my God, the Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles. Oh shit. They were always one of them's a dung beetle.
they're always bugging me.
Yeah, they're always bugging you. I get it. I get what you did. Here's a boo mommy. I hate that one because of how distorted it is. Listen to that top part. I hate it.
Oh yeah, what is that? That's weird.
Almost sounds like a record getting scratched. It's weird. Yeah. This and the following clips is why I didn't like that girl, because they didn't train her to talk right. So here it is.
Ha! You took your blindfold off. I went. You weren't even warm, Mom. I was in Christine and Nancy's room.
Learn how to separate your effing words a little bit.
Slow down.
Oh, that drove me
Slow
crazy.
down.
Annoyed me. All right, this part got me though.
There's someone standing over there.
That girl was real good.
She's so good.
That's
at that.
Joey King.
Yeah,
Joey
she's
King's so
got
good.
a whole. She got a
Sound
career,
design
man.
really kind of jumps around in this movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
The last two clips you played sound like they were recorded in completely different continents.
Yeah, but it's part of the haunting. Boo! All right, here is the sound of someone trying to light matches in the dark. I always like that. It's always such a struggle because it's dark and you got to get out the thing, and it's just a great trope. I like it. I enjoy that. All right, something about not authorizing things.
No, I'm not authorized, but I've assisted on many.
Oh, all right.
Huh.
Well, that's like a perfect moment to dig into Brian Ibbott's prom date.
Well, I got one of those later. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I can save that one for later. Here's an infestation thing.
Infestation, oppression, and possession.
Yeah, those are the big three. IOO. So
I was also going to do Obsession by Emotion and use all those in there too, and I didn't.
Oh man, you had so many choices.
I did. There was a lot of I had a lot of options.
I like where you landed. I have to say, I meant to say this earlier. I'm very impressed with the octaves you were able to reach for your song.
Well, the octaves I attempted to reach anyway.
Yeah, because they were top shelf octave up there. Get way up there.
Don't give it a second listen. You might change your mind.
I can't go that high. Let's see. Demonic. What's this? I don't know what it is.
Well, rancid smells could indicate some type of demonic activity.
You know, demonic smells, and you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah,
so.
it was rancid.
Yeah, it was from there. Here's a Farmiga laugh. All right, that's fun. It's kind of like that. They were all very cute. They were always like, "Oh, isn't it nice out? We're out here in the thing." But I've seen pictures of those guys. They weren't like.
Oh, they weren't nearly as attractive as these people. Never are.
Never are. Right.
No.
Okay. Did you notice that all possessed people sound like this? I wrote, and I really mean this. So here it is. Why are we doing that voice every time where it's that weird? I kind of sound like the person I was, but really it's mostly the demon now in here.
Because it freaks us the F out.
It does
like
kind of make me feel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like your voice got replaced by a mountain lion, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I guess it is. All right, I've saved the very best for last. This is when Ibbott asked his date's mom where the girl was. All right, so you're like, hey, I'm here to pick her up. Where is she? And this was her reply.
She's already gone.
Okay, well.
Oh, I was so disappointed. She turned out actually she was just hiding in the wall.
Right.
Yeah. It's fine. He caught up with her. It was a good night. It was everything.
Yeah, it still turned out fine. Yeah,
it turned out
with
okay.
The Chuck E. Cheese.
Let's see if these turn out okay. It's time for the Film Sack checklist. This house has no haunting rules. Check.
Yes.
I can't emphasize that enough. Patrick Wilson looks zero like the real Ed Warren. Check. And finally, gross basement is scary no matter what movie it is. Check. Don't like a gross basement. Nope. I don't like the sound of that piano. I don't like all that dust. I don't like those cobwebs. I don't like that unfinished ceiling. F it all.
I'm like everybody. I'm like everybody else. I'm compelled to tinkle around on the piano whenever I find one.
You like the piano guy.
Yeah. You got it. If you see a piano, you got to walk in. It's like, oh, I got to do this.
Oh, it's like if you have barbecue tongs, you got to click.
Right. Got to clap them.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. You know what? I've never not done that. You're right.
Yeah.
If I see a pair of tongs, I'm going click, click, click.
Yeah.
Click.
What's another thing like that? What's another thing like that you do that with? It's always going to happen.
A cordless drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pick it up to make sure it does that.
Oh, bubble wrap, unless it's packing something. If it's something that came to you.
Not me, man. Bubble wrap's expensive.
Even if it's packing something, you can pop about 1/7 of those things.
You can do some ones around the edges.
Yeah, but once you pop, you can't stop. Is what I was told. But I was trying to. I like stuff like that. Like, what's a thing where we just cannot resist it?
Yeah.
And hopefully it isn't, cheesecake. Or
ballpoint pen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Humans. What
now we have fidget spinners for all that stuff.
That's right. Boy, that was hot again for a minute, and then it went away.
Wow, you're taking me back to 2017.
Yeah.
I still have one on my desk. That's what made me think of it.
Do you use it here and there?
I do. It's the heavy brass one, which is like this thing will spin for days.
It gives you get that centrifugal force feeling in your hand when you use it.
Yeah. You try and turn your hand like it is a heavy. This thing is probably maybe a quarter of a pound. It's heavy weighted brass.
That's the only way to go. If I'm gonna have a fidget spinner again, I want it to be a heavy metal one.
That's exactly.
Heavy metal.
All right. Let's see what else. Let's move on to these Star Trek connections. I have guesses, but let's please tell us, Randy, if there's something.
It's tough. There's none. It's bottom line. It's a small cast, and none of them have ever been in anything Star Trek. So I just dug a little deeper, and I just want to bring up our cinematographer for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
His name is John R. Leonetti. John Leonetti.
Sure.
I'm gonna say.
Are you waiting for our approval?
I'm just trying to figure it out. This guy also did photography direction on Star Trek Insurrection, and I always think it's interesting. Like I don't know. There's something about cinematographers and photography. Like I'm trying to see the similarities. Like. How did this movie look like Insurrection to me?
Yeah, almost. I can't think of a way it would have, right? Different.
Right, and like there's so much more like green screen in a Star Trek movie, right?
Yeah. Plus, that movie's just like everything's in the sunshine in Insurrection for some reason. That's why it feels like a TV episode of TNG to me because they
go outside.
Yeah, they're just outside a lot. And it's all sunny and whatever. But this movie's like dark and you got to do weird exposure shit in the basement and all that. It's a very different job.
Also, this was not our first John Leonetti movie. We have seen him do cinematography for 2 movies previously. Those are Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Again, try to find the similarities. Or Piranha 3D, which feels like now I'm understanding his wheelhouse.
Weird.
Piranha 3D and The Conjuring, they feel like they could have been a double feature.
But they're also a million. Oh, Piranha 3D. I was thinking of an older one. Yeah. That's the one with the lady with the wire cutter in half while she's out topless running around. Is that the one?
Yes.
Man, I'll never forget that scene. That scene got me.
It really did. Yeah. I've never seen the movie, and that scene, I'm visualizing it.
No. We film sack.
We watched Piranha
3D. We did. Yes, that's right.
That's the one where the kid, the chubby kid from Stand By Me, is not chubby anymore. What's his name?
It's O'Donnell. Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah,
O'Donnell's one who got the chubby.
He gets chummed to death.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the boat goes by and she basically just gets sliced in half by the.
To be really, really clear, his name is Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, Jerry O'Connell.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What did we say? Right. I don't know what we said.
You said Chris O'Donnell.
Oh,
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell.
Chris O'Onnell was Robin and
Jerry O'Connell,
right?
Going to McDonald's.
The most wonderful thing about Piranha 3D will always be Ving Rhames for me.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, pretty much, if Ving Rhames is in a movie, we should sack it.
I agree.
That's my
we
rule.
need to. Okay, so one that's been on my list forever would be great Sacktober, but I'll take it anytime, is the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead remake from 2004. I would watch that, and Ving Rhames is fantastic in it. That movie rocks. I actually think it might be my favorite Zack Snyder movie, if I had to pick one. I really like it. All right, now that I've brought us all to silence, let's move on to the next thing. Soundtrack grade, I give it an NAC for nice and creepy. I'd like that it held back when it needed to, silence when it was important, discordant when it was good. Like, it was good. It was definitely handled. I like that.
Yeah.
Now time for the social media post. You guys get to sum this thing up in 280 characters or less, and I think it might behoove us to start with Randy.
The Conjuring. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy's daddy then? That would be your granddaddy. Now I need the last four of your social. May I call you daddy? We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh, very good.
Very good. I like
for your
it.
Chevy.
You brought it modern. That's what you did there. I like that. Now let's move down the table and over the corner and under the bed to Brian Dunaway.
Oh, wait. Do I get to do one this week?
Yeah.
I didn't write anything. Oh.
Very funny. Nice callback. I like it. Very done. Well done.
Right. See, we do have continuity in film set.
Sure.
The Conjuring. Like a game of hide and clap. You hide and I go make some 70s era hamburger helper and Kool-Aid while you get bored and go do something else based on a true story.
That was the 70s story.
Yeah.
Everything you just said, that's the 70s.
That's what we did. You want to play some hide? Your little brother or sister. I'll play hide and seek. Sure, go hide. I'll come get you. 1, 2, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Just come home before dinner.
Can't hear you clapping. Can't hear it.
That's right. Finally, we rounded out with Mr. Brian Ibbett.
The Conjuring. This is a damn scary movie. No, seriously, I'm not pulling your leg.
Oh, Jesus. Please
that was actually
don't.
a really good effect. I don't know how they did it, but that looked like she had her leg pulled.
It looked good. That and the hair pulling is like, wow, that is really well done.
Yeah.
Now that we've done that, can we talk about Time of the Season by the Zombies being in this movie? It's by far the most fun moment in the whole movie, and it's so weird.
Well, it's out of time.
I'm trying to remember when is it played?
When the family first pulls up to their house.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's played
early on.
as though they're listening to that song in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pulling up and it's, what's your name? Who's your daddy? And I'm like, slow your roll, movie. What are these lyrics doing here?
And then they got the little kid running inside. I'm like, oh, I feel
I guess
right now.
it's just to show that, it's 1960.
It's 70s.
Yeah, 1969 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever year it was. Was it 69? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I guess the nurses were 69.
The song is from the 60s, but that's the movie is set in 71.
Oh, okay.
Right. But even then their stuff was out of time, right?
Yeah.
It was old. Everything was old.
1968 was when that song came out. So it wasn't even them trying to
71 is when the movie is supposed to take place.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't even like, how films will say, this is set in a certain year. Here is the biggest song of that year.
Right.
And it happened to be being playing out on the radio or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, certainly the radio station out there doesn't have clear channels.
Oh, so maybe they're listening to a cassette of the
that'd be a good point,
the Zombies album, Odyssey and Oracle.
Track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was the only one disturbed by that. Okay. All right.
It would have been more disturbing if it was.
Thing. The lyrics in that thing is weird. It is
weird.
I was weird.
Maybe it should have been Season of the Witch by Donovan would have been a little bit more appropriate.
Right, yes,
and they could have kept Season in there.
Or Witchy Woman by whoever that was.
The Eagles?
Was it the Eagles?
Yeah, I think it was a little later in the 70s, that one.
The Eagles did Witchy Woman? I have that so wrong in my head. Well, you know who does Witchy Woman? It's just freaking Elaine dancing. That's all I can say.
Is Elaine Bennis? Yeah, exactly. It would have been closer. Eagles Witchy Woman was 1972.
Oh, very nice. Well, then we were
how high
close.
she flies.
My wife's birth year. Let's move on now to alternate titles. They were just handed to me. I got Foley work to do here. This is what they almost were. Office Space 2, we found more office space in the secret basement. That was almost the name.
That's pretty good.
And then they almost went with the haunted hair pull Olympics. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Let's go to this email.
I liked her solution was just to cut the girl's hair off. I thought that was
actually great. It was it's such a simple all right, well, you got a hold of this, fine. We'll just cut it off.
Yeah. It's weird though that the ghost didn't think to grab more than just the hair, but whatever. Yeah. No rules. We have no rules. Let's move on now to this the set of texts that we got, okay? You can also email us, filmsack@gmail.com, but we chose from the text this week at 801-471-0462. You don't have to, but it helps if you put a little note that your message is for FilmSack if you're writing for that show, because it's for all the shows. We'll start with this one from Ryan, who says the following. Regarding the reviews and score roundtable episode, I really think you hit on an idea with personalized movie reviews. I think you should each of you should have something like a 5-star and 1-star sentence review of each of your Sacked movies. This would be a great value for patrons. If you could choose a specific host and sort by review stars, for example. Cheers from Ryan. So it would take some programming that would be needed. We'd need Bombats or somebody to spend more of their free time.
Volunteering you again for more work, Bomba. You're welcome.
Doing free stuff for us.
It feels like so many of our FilmSack movies would trend in the 1 and 2 and 2.5 star range.
Yeah. Also, I often come away from a FilmSack movie both loving and hating it. Like it's a pretty often feeling, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like, is that an average response or whatever? Like, many times I have gone to our Discord after we release a movie and somebody goes, I wasn't ready for Randy to hate this movie, and I'm like, what? Wait, hold on, I loved this movie. Why are we?
It definitely that's why I think it couldn't be a star system. It had to be some other weird thing.
I like what we kind of already do, which is kind of like we kind of state in this I'm team Gibbet or whatever. I kind of like how we kind of pair up.
Yeah, it's just not a simple sortable list, I guess, when we do it that way. Right. But which is what he's looking for. But who knows, Ryan? We'll give it some thought and we'll see.
Yeah.
Here's another one from Geniusaurus. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Good morning. Here chiming in about Tylenol and the hangover Hecade. What is wrong with me? Headache. Hecade from FilmSack. So we discussed somebody beating or we were talking about drinking, though, was the thing. How do you beat a hangover in the morning or whatever? How do you do it ahead of time? And then it also turned to just how to deal with different kind of headaches and stuff. Anyway, she says, don't do it. Acetaminophen, she says, acetaminophen is processed by your liver. Your liver is already working more than normal over the abundance of alcohol. Extreme cases are not uncommon, and you end up hospitalized. Motrin or Aleve are better options. Excedrin also has acetaminophen, so don't do it.
Did we talk about this one?
We were talking about headaches and hangovers, and that the feeling is caused by your blood vessels constricting because you're dehydrated. So if you keep drinking water,
on FilmSack, but
I can't remember where we talked about it.
Did we do it on film? I don't remember talking about that on
We talked about it on here. It was
Randy?
definitely here, yeah. Because Randy said stuff, and it was definitely here.
Because Randy said stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Randy sometimes on TMS.
Yeah, but I don't think that was there. I think this was here, if my memory serves.
I want to be really, really clear. Do not take medical advice from podcast.
Right.
And if you're going to take your analgesics, do take them when your blood alcohol content gets down to 0. That's what you have a hangover. I think we usually, when we're talking about hangover time, it's like many hours later. Usually, I don't know. Maybe some people wake up in the morning with a hangover and they still have measurable blood alcohol content. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do
when
that.
When you do not have any alcohol in your blood, maybe you can take some.
Oh, of course. Yeah, then you're in Fat City then. But if you're out, that's the whole point.
Here's an idea: don't drink so much that you get a hangover.
Well, that could help you too. Or do like Brian. See, the whole point of the advice was Brian would say drink a ton of water, and that'll
drink a lot of water while you're drinking the drink,
especially but not too altitude. Much. Once again. Water.
Don't take advice from the podcast.
Don't take advice from
everything in moderation. That's the best advice, and that's advice you can take from a podcast.
Yeah, take that from a podcast, unless you're a moderator And you don't want to treat everything in your life like you're a Reddit page moderator. Okay, there's advice.
Don't take any podcast advice and then 20 minutes of podcast advice.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right?
But don't take podcast advice you're getting from a podcast?
Oh shit! Now we're now we're 2 levels deep. Oh, bit.
Yeah, snake is eating its own tail.
Oh gosh.
Don't eat your own tail. That's also
that's actually really good advice. Take that advice. Yeah.
Don't touch Ron Silver. You turn into a pile of goo.
Yeah, a purple pile of goo. You don't want that. We got one more. This is from Eric V in the Silicon Valley. Not the show, the area. Hi, Film Sack Posse. Wondering if you've ever considered sacking 1994's Brain Scan. It features Edward Furlong and Frank Langella. I was born in 82, and this was one of the first horror movies I remember seeing. It is a VHS rental, baby. Thanks for all you've done over these many years. Keep calm and sack on, says Eric. I have never seen Brain Scan, so I would be
I would be down with Brain Scan. Great cover box.
Boy, is that horrible cover art. My God.
And I would love, that's the reason why it's memorable, because it's like, oh yeah, this is some
holy shit
stuff.
This is some Lawnmower Man looking CGI BS right here.
Yeah, this is cool.
On, I don't know if we're streaming currently, but
interactive trip to hell. That's a great tagline.
A fully immersive trip to hell.
Yeah.
Same director as Lockup, the Slice of Alone movie we saw.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh weird. I liked Lockup. That was all right.
Same director as Out for Justice by Steven Seagal. Oh my
God. Dude, this guy's freaky. These pictures from the movie are freaky.
I'll tell you what. You send us all a copy of the VHS, and I'll watch it.
It looks like if the lead singer of Dead or Alive was Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
That's a good way of putting it. That's great.
Hilarious.
Frank Langella, Amy Hargraves, these are decent people. I'd watch this.
He looks like the punk bad boy in every 80s teenage movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the kid that's like the leader of the punks that,
right?
I don't know, fathers are our main characters.
That's absolutely correct. What's he doing? Oh, he hasn't done anything for 20 years, 23 years.
I've been busy. Back off. Leave me alone, Johnson.
Yeah.
I've been having things to do.
I'm into this. We should see this.
Sure.
Is it streaming?
It looks so perfectly garbage for us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not streaming anywhere currently, but as soon as that changes.
Yeah, you'll let us know. I'm looking at this front cover. The symmetry, with the exception of the nose ring, it's really throwing me. It's too exact.
Yeah. That's what makes it creepy, right? That's what they did a good job.
I don't know. It's probably just utter shit. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's doing okay. I thought it was utter shit. I was trying to remember. Did I watch it? And it looks familiar. I don't know if it's just seen the trailer, but it seems to be rating pretty decent. I mean, higher than the movie today almost.
Sort of remember the box, like at a Hollywood video.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen this thing.
Vaguely, something about it, and specifically Hollywood video, not Blockbuster.
Yeah, not Blockbuster. This is like,
it's just weird.
Why is this always on the shelf? Nobody ever has it checked out.
Yeah, why are there 10 of them and everything around it is gone, but this one's all here? Weird.
Yeah.
That is it for your emails and your texts, and we didn't do email, so it's just text 801-471-0462. If you use that same number to leave us a voicemail, we can play those on the show as well. I would like to thank some brand new patrons this week who joined us here at patreon.com/filmsack, including William Coldren, Seb, Mark Kalzer, Casey Butler, and my favorite, quote, and I quote, an unhealthy obsession with cinematic dongs, unquote.
Wow.
Are you sure it wasn't William Cauldron for Halloween?
No. William Coldren.
Oh, so they're not Witch's Cauldron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We should change
something you'd conjure from.
Yeah, okay. We'll do like Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, and we name everybody Halloween names.
Ooh, we didn't name ourselves that. We should do that, maybe, right? I don't know.
Would you want to do that? I don't know.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Seems like a lot of work, yeah. Stuff to remember and do. I don't want to do that. Anyway, if you want to be a part of our Patreon, it's a great time to join up. You get pre-show content every week. You get host specials once a month. I do not remember who this month is. I don't remember.
Oh, it's me.
It's Randy. That's right.
It's me.
Randy's got something coming, so watch for that. No commercials ever, and you have movie-related art print from me in the mail. All kinds of reasons to join, but you got to go over there and do it. So go to patreon.com/filmsack today and join this growing band of weirdos that likes our show. All right. Our next movie is The Haunting. Oh my Lord, another haunting movie. Holy shit.
Did you like Lily Taylor this week? Let me give you some Lily Taylor next week.
Oh my gosh. I watched Leatherface. I watched Leatherface last week because just on my own. She's also in that. She plays the mom.
Really? I like Leatherface. You've seen Leatherface? I love Leatherface.
Leatherface is all right. I thought it was going to be shit. It was pretty good. I actually kind of like it.
Is this the Lily Taylor movie where she has 65 songs about Joe that she's going to sing every single one of them? And John Cusack's going to take some car keys away from people?
Yes.
Is that this one? Is that this one?
That should be your expectation.
I want it to be that. All of that sounds great.
This is and I want to be really clear.
That was going to be my Twitter post was going to be Annabelle lies when she cries.
Nice. Oh, this is the Owen Wilson one?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is Jan de Bont's The Haunting.
Oh, shit.
Both movies called The Haunting are streaming on Max. Watch the newer one.
Yeah, the great cast in this: Liam Neeson,
yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, Lily Taylor,
Bruce Stern.
I usually watch this every couple of years, so it's
Jenny
it's pretty
Madsen.
good.
Yeah, Virginia Madsen, love her. Michael Cavanaugh. MC Gainey plays a character called Large Man.
Yeah,
excellent!
This is a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
Is he going to put his wiener on the window? Because I'm out.
Wiener on the window.
We are slowly approaching the end of having sacked every Jan de Bont movie, and this one has been looming large in our history.
All right.
Do we have a collection of have we collected everything of any?
I've gotten all our Jan de Bonts. I mean, he's done
just any director. Have we ever collected all of them?
I don't know if we've got them all. Maybe.
I'm sure there's like one-time directors.
Well, yeah,
that had
not
one
one-offs,
movie,
prolific type director.
Somebody who's done a bunch of movies. That would be interesting to find that out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another Bombats thing to go do. Go do that. Find that for us.
Just off the top of my head, we've seen Equilibrium. We've seen Speed. Obviously, Twister. Twister was awesome. He directed Minority Report. We're kind of like the guy
close,
doesn't have a huge list.
Actually, he doesn't. Yeah, we could if we do SLC Punk.
Many people have suggested we sack
talked about
SLC
that.
Punk.
Yeah,
Laura Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life.
Oh, easy. We could totally do that. That is total sack worthy.
Thought Crimes feels like it's just perfect.
Thought Crimes has never been streaming. I've been tracking that for 15 years.
And then The Paperboy. Is that an adaptation of a movie version of the video game? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I just hear the music every time you bring it up. I think I have it here. Hold on.
Maybe it's a sexy story like Pizza Boy.
Where is that? Do I have that? I think I have that.
I mean, if we're just looking at Jan de Bont's directing, is it Jan de Bont?
Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont.
Speed, Twister, Speed 2, Haunting, and Laura Croft Tomb Raider would be, we could complete the Jan de Bont directing.
Yes.
Just with
that's
that.
all I need.
Check this out.
Got some Paperboy.
This is Paperboy.
Nice.
I used to love this. Man, the quarters I put into that piece of
More
shit.
cowbell.
Yeah.
Damn.
See, there's a retro game you'd have to do some explaining. Like, so back in the day, there were these things called newspapers.
Yeah, dude. That's so true. That's funny. Well, anyway, The Haunting. It's another haunted house movie I can complain about. So that'll be next week.
This one.
Yep.
Me too. I'm excited just based on the cast, honestly. That got me.
Yeah, and I never saw this, and at the time I remember going, "Owen Wilson, is this a comedy?" And then I kind of blew it off, and now I'll give it the proper go.
I can't wait
to blow it off like a NES card.
Yeah.
Can't wait to deep dive into how this was almost a Steven Spielberg thing.
Whoa, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, need to do some reading on that.
Yeah. I just rewatched Twister this week, so I am I'm in that frame of mind.
Did you drink a whole bunch of Pepsis and then make little spinners out of them when you were done?
It's such a good movie, guys.
It is a good movie.
It's such a good movie.
I love it.
It's totally emotional. I love the emotion of it. It's like a twister of emotions.
It's a real twister of emotions. Yeah, you're not wrong. Right. Too many good actors in it have died, though, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
And none of them in tornadoes.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Yeah. Tornadoes live on. All right. That is going to do it for us. Sacktober continues next week. Again, a Sunday. Just letting people know we're on a slightly different schedule this month, but we'll be back to Saturdays coming soon enough. So watch for that. Filmsack.com is our website. Patreon.com/filmsack, as mentioned earlier. Filmsack@gmail.com if you'd like to send us your emails. And leave us reviews wherever you get your shows. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Brian, and for Randy.
Daddy.
We'll see you next time.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Where's the doll now?